Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Thursday, May 1, May Day, 2025. Now, today at 1 o'clock, there'll be one of the final pre-trial conferences, or at least pre-jury selection conferences in U.S. versus Sean Combs, TdA. We'll be live tweeting it at 1 p.m. It has to do with some questions that they're going to want to start asking the jurors on May 5th, when they'll begin jury selection, which we'll also be doing. There's a gathering storm. The amount of interest is really, it's pretty shocking. Meanwhile, we're obviously covering also the, could we call them the Trump cases, the Enemy Aliens Act cases, TdA cases. Yesterday we covered the arraignment in what's here in the Southern District called the TdA case. 21 defendants, 12 of whom are in custody. Some others are being sent over. One is in immigration custody. 2 are in Oregon, Florida, Chicago. It's basically they've tried to lay out a TdA conspiracy, RICO conspiracy, and one has already been removed from the country, previously removed, the way it was described. So it's an interesting case. Meanwhile, we're also covering the other cases where deportation is being enjoined of those at Guantanamo Bay by a judge up in Boston. This beat is becoming national and international, and we are covering it. Now, in the Luigi Mangione case, which resonates globally, but is right here in New York, he's at the MDC in Brooklyn, his call with Karen Fried-Magnanifalo was in fact listened to by a Manhattan DA paralegal. This was a clarification filed yesterday in a letter by the SDNY prosecutor saying it was listened to, but nothing was done with it. Also stating that the new U.S. attorney is recused from the case. So there's that. We reported on that as well. What more can we say? We covered this case yesterday, which is one of the many. This is a pure Trump case, Doge case. The Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service. Unions have sued to enjoin its dismantling, and it does. Judge Subramanian, who also has the TdA case, asked the government's lawyer if they used to have 142 mediators and they now have 5, isn't that dismantling? And he said, well, people can characterize it. And Judge Subramanian said, well, how do you characterize it? Judge Subramanian telegraphed his decision by saying, I think I'm going to issue an injunction, but I'll give you till Friday to submit a letter with cases you think I should read. They were citing the consumer financial protection cases. So that's one that we're following. Now, in terms of cutting at a place that it absolutely needs to be cut, the United Nations. Now, I know many UN staffers, and they're upset. There was a protest in the UN in Geneva. But I think what they need to look at is the incredible incompetence and waste of Antonio Guterres. The head of the UN lives in a mansion on Sutton Place here in Manhattan, on the east side, super exclusive. And when he travels around, he travels with huge security detail, even though nobody knows who he is. Compare Antonio Guterres to, for example, Kofi Annan, for example, and he's reduced the UN to almost total irrelevance while banning the press that asks basic questions about UN performance. So the UN has only Antonio Guterres to blame, and his era of censorship and waste and incompetence must end. But we're going in. Inner City Press, we continue.